Coming up on this edition of Flashtalk, as always, brought to you by Bryant Heating and Cooling, we talk men's hoops with head ball coach Rob Senderoff. Softball gets started this weekend, so brand new coach Jess O'Donnell will come in and have a seat with us. Our McLendon Fellow Zayin West will stop on by to talk about his role within our athletic department. We'll take a look around what's going on at Kent State Athletics, then wrap things up talking women's basketball with head coach Todd Starkey. That's all coming up in a flash. Welcome back into Flash Talk. We're brought to you by Bryant Heating and Cooling. Dan Griffin talks some ball with head ball coach Rob Senderoff. And coach, first and foremost, big-time road victory. They're always tough to come by in the Mid-American Conference, and you did so on national TV, so congratulations.
Yeah, we shot the ball well and certainly made a difference in the game, but a lot of those shots came off our defense turning into offense, whether it was creating turnovers and getting out in transition or getting defensive rebounds and getting out in transition. And started the game, the first two baskets of the game were offensive rebound putbacks by Claron. Vaughn Cameron Davis was matched up with their leading scorer. He did a great job. And just about everybody who stepped on the court really contributed to the win.
Yeah, you mentioned the effort plays. I know there was a number of times where they would feed the post down low and then they make that cardinal sin of bringing that ball down just a little bit. And there was usually a help side defender that came over and popped the ball free and either took them out of rhythm, created a loose ball, or got the straight steal. So you guys, like you said, were creating some havoc and really collapsing in on the Buffalo offense. And like you said, that was fun to watch and really obviously resulted in a big offensive explosion.
Yep, made the trip back home a little bit easier. So great to get it, and we got to try to build off those games and continue to play well down the stretch.
Yeah, you had mentioned that Claron had a couple of big putbacks there early on. Good to see him getting his basketball legs back underneath him. You guys have been slowly but surely integrating him more, whether it be in the starting lineup or just expanding his minutes. But he's been a real difference and really shows the strides that he's made even post-injury, but just making that leap that we needed him to see this year.
Yeah, big part of our team. He's been a starter, for 2 years. And, when we were without him for a month, defensively more than anything, his presence at the basket around the rim was certainly missed. And when you put on top of that our sophomore Rico Gillespie getting hurt right around the same time, it really made us thin up front. So having him back has been great. His ability to continue to improve throughout the rest of this year and moving forward certainly a big key to our program. So looking forward to seeing how he continues to get better as we move throughout this season.
Well, the next game on the ledger is going to be a non-conference one. You make the trip down to, South Central Alabama, I think would be the best way to describe where Troy is, but you're taking on a good Troy team, and this is the return game of the Sun Belt Challenge. We had a instant classic with James Madison and hoping for one on the left side of the column as you guys make the trip down south.
Yeah, I know they're a really good team, having a great season. Their coach has been very successful at a number of different programs. So, we're looking forward to the challenge. It's interesting, first time in a long time that I can remember us playing a non-conference game, this late in the season and then followed by a bye week, basically in league action. So, probably good to get ourselves, a team that doesn't know everything we do the way schools in the conference do, and then a week to really sort of hone in until we get to this stretch run of games. So I'm looking forward to it. Never been down there before. I know they have a really good team this year, and looking forward to seeing how our guys respond.
Yeah, it'd almost be probably since Bracket Busters way back when we would see mid-majors have a non-conference game this late into the season. But like you said, it's almost like a intermission where you take your swings against somebody that doesn't know you all that well, and then you rest up for that final sprint of the season. So that bye week's got to come at a pretty good time for the stretch run.
Yeah, the timing of all this, I think is probably helpful for a lot of teams, not just ours, but I think for a lot of teams, being able to play somebody non-league and then regroup and have a week to get yourself, healthy, to get yourself mentally where you need to be, physically where you need to be, maybe work on a couple things to add to your repertoire of stuff late in the year. It's probably something that everybody's looking forward to. And I'm excited to get a chance to play somebody non-conference. We've been pretty good on the road this year, so we get this road game, and like you said, hopefully it goes in the win column.
4:30 down in Alabama. That's 4:30 Eastern Time, 3:30 Central. Coach, let's bring one home for the MAC in our side.
Sounds good. Thanks, Dan.
Welcome back inside the GFTV studios. It's Flash Talk. We're brought to you by Bryant Heating and Cooling. Dan Griffin talking a little softball with new head coach Jess O'Donnell. And Coach, believe it, your first season here at the Golden Flashes, we're going to be starting to play for serious here in just a few days.
For real, I can't wait.
So let's talk a little bit about your first off season, you assembling a staff, getting to know the team a little bit. So just talk about that experience as you get up to speed with in advance of the 24 season.
Yeah, so we've really spent a lot of time with development in our swings, our pitches, catching, throwing, defense, you name it. But more importantly, development of the person too. And I think just really developing our culture and getting to know one another, and seeing what we can do on the field. And so we're excited to see it all come together here pretty shortly. But it's just a lot of time with development and getting to know one another.
One of the rough parts of playing north of the Mason-Dixon line is you guys have got to travel a pretty good clip in order to get games in the early part of the season, but it seems like you're going to be setting up residency in North Carolina. 3 of the 4 weekends you're going to be down in the Tar Heel State.
Isn't that nice? Nice weather, hopefully. No rain. We're hoping for no snow. So, yeah, we're going to be down there in North Carolina. Hopefully, getting a good amount of games in and some good competition. Just getting prepped for conference.
How hard is it to adjust from being able to play inside in whether it's the batting cages or our field house to actually adapting to live play against somebody else?
I really think it's about making the best of what you have. I mean, we have some amazing facilities here between Edmonds, baseball, softball, hitting facility. We've got 4 cages there. We can do a full infield, some live hitting in there. And then our amazing field house as well, getting a full field in there, some game-like situations, things like that. And then having some nice warm days where we can potentially get out on the field has been really nice. But I think it's all about being able to adapt and work on being able to say, hey, weather looks good today, let's go outside. And, so we have some amazing facilities that help make that a little bit easier.
You had amazing success in the NEC, not too far from here at St. Francis, but for somebody that's just getting to know the team, and when you mentioned the culture and the style of play, what can we expect from a Coach O'Donnell-driven team in 24 and beyond?
Yeah, so I talked to the team just last week. I think anyone from the outside that's looking in, I want them to see that we play hard. We're going to give it our best effort every single play until the last out. We're going to play fast. I don't necessarily mean speed-wise, but just the game, the speed of the game, and being able to work quickly and just try to throw the defense off. And lastly, tough. I want us to have tough outs, tough plays, and just be a tough team to beat. So those are the 3 things I think anyone from the outside looking and going to watch Kent State softball can see is we're going to play hard, tough, and fast.
So all it takes is one great play that juices up the team on either side of the ball, and it really can carry over. And obviously, if you're stringing together, a lot of those are just hard, gritty plays to where, hey, that was a bang-bang play at first, but, I mean, that should have been a routine play that you made them kind of sweat a little bit. That may be the domino that leads, maybe not right there, but a few plays down the line, all of a sudden the floodgates open.
Oh, for sure. It only takes one pitch to completely change a ball game, or one big play, as you mentioned. It's all about that one and thinking kind of small instead of big picture. But let's get one out at a time, one play at a time, and just work in small numbers and see what we can do.
Not to single out one student athlete, I don't think that's necessarily fair, but what has impressed you the most? We'll start with the position players as you guys get ramped up for the season.
Just how hard they play the game. I mean, again, that's something that I want us to be known for, but just the love of the game, I think. I enjoy seeing them every single day. I've been saying this since I got here. One thing I love about this team is I felt that I needed them as much as they needed me when I came in here. There's just genuine love to come to practice. There's genuine love to see them. Just so much excitement around a practice, which can get tough, especially being in the north, and monotonous at times. But there's genuine excitement every single day to go and practice, and especially in these nice facilities and in this great university. So I'm just excited all around, and yeah, it's a great environment. But I think in general, just how hard they play the game and how hard they practice. I mean, we had a fun practice last week where I was like, all right, me versus you, I'm going to try to hit the ball by you. I mean, they were making some crazy diving plays, but as soon as you put a little competition on it, it's game over, you know? So just how hard they play the game and how much they don't want to lose.
And how about those in the circle?
Yeah, we got a tough staff. We have 2 freshman pitchers that are going to be getting a good amount of reps, and then a sophomore pitcher as well. So we'll have a young staff, but we've really worked them different situations and scenarios, and we've been hitting against them for the last 2 to 3 weeks. So I feel like they're going to be ready, and challenged.
Elon comes up first. It'll be one of the many trips you guys make to North Carolina. Best of luck, Coach, as you get started with your inaugural season here at Kent State.
Thank you very much.
Welcome back into Flash Talk. As always, we're brought to you by Brian Heating and Cooling. Dan Griffin, pleased to be joined with Zayin West, our McLendon Fellow. Thank you, Zay, for taking a few moments to join us here on the set.
Most definitely. Thank y'all for having me today.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your unique role within Kent State Athletics and how it came to be through the McLendon Fellowship.
Most definitely. So like you said, the McLendon Fellowship, I work right now heavily in external operations with Suzette McQueen. Right now I'm working in advancement. It's a lot, learning a lot. I'm mainly there to help with alumni engagement and donor engagement, so it's going well.
Well, how did you first find out about the McLendon Fellowship? Take us through kind of the application process and all that, because you're I believe the 3rd McLendon Fellow we've had here at Kent State.
Most definitely. So with that process, it was just after the professional route. I went to talk to Mr. Richmond, set up a meeting, just talking to him about my career after sports and just wondering like what my career path looked like. He put me in connection with Suzette, and she told me about this opportunity about the McLendon Fellowship and how you get a chance to bounce around the athletic department, just seeing if it's a career path for you. And so with that process, it was just like about applying. I'm going through a few interview processes and then having an interview again with Suzette and just maybe the people in the athletic department that I may be working with. So,
well, very cool, because the McLendon Fellowship, for those that don't know, is gives minority student athletes and just students in general a chance to work after graduation and get it's a 1-year kind of fellowship or an internship, if you will, like you said, and in addition to, like you said, bouncing around, kind of being this jack of all trades, you get a lot of career advice, and you get to go to a number of very cool events throughout the country to help you network and just become a more well-rounded athletic employee.
Indeed, yes, sir. And as you mentioned, like just the networking and connection that you're able to build within the departments, and then also the network within the whole sports world. It's a great opportunity, so you can just get able to network and get yourself into where you want to see yourself.
What's been kind of the biggest surprise, because you were a defensive end, you were a student athlete here at Kent State. What's been the biggest, let's say, surprise or transition for you from life as a student athlete to life on the other side here as part of the administration?
I think I would just say the perspective of it, just juggling a lot of jobs at once and just making sure that things are fulfilled and implemented the correct way. So creating a plan, then going throughout that plan, seeing how the things may work and actually turn out, then actually implement that plan and seeing how you could easily like make changes or make better corrections for it in the future. So just juggling all the jobs at once and carrying a lot of hats as well.
How does that compare to a coach implementing a game plan for an opponent throughout the week and then adjusting accordingly based off of how Saturday, or in the Max case, maybe midweek?
Indeed, that's mostly like a one focus driven goal. So within this realm, you have a lot of different aspects that need your focus as well. So instead of just one opponent, it's maybe 4 or 5 opponents, but then you just look at it differently. So, like I said, just different perspective.
And then your time as a student athlete, how'd that prepare you for working here in athletics? Is a lot of companies look favorably on hiring student athletes because of the work ethic and because of the discipline you guys went through. You don't have a typical college experience, if you will. So talk a little bit about how that's kind of helped you advance in your life after sport.
So like as you said, just that hard work and determination factor, consistency, doing hard things, making the choice to do what's right when maybe things are hard or maybe it doesn't look like it's going to get you the goal that you want. So just being able to push through hard times, just lean on people that you could like have mentors near and close to you that you can just engage with and ask for help.
Don't want to really put you on the spot, but that's my job here.
Definitely.
what would you say is your favorite aspect of what you've learned so far? If you were going to say next week you're going to start putting out applications to work somewhere in the collegiate field, where would you say your expertise and your comfort zone is so far?
Right now, it would be student athlete development, just dealing more with the student athletes, with my journey, and just seeing how this perspective of working in the admin for just a few months, I just feel like I could tell them about a story, and just using your opportunities to your advantage. So,
We'll say thank you very much for a few moments of your time. Keep up the great work. We're happy to have you as our Swiss Army knife here within the athletic department.
most definitely appreciate you for having me.
Let's take a look at our busy week in Kent State Athletics. As always, we're brought to you by KSUTix.com. Wednesday evening, our women's basketball team is back at home, welcoming in Western Michigan for a 7 p.m. tip. It's National Women and Girls in Sports Day and our Play for K initiative. On Friday, our wrestling team is back at home for the annual grudge match with the Ohio Bobcats. It's a 7 p.m. start. It's a powder blue out, so be sure to wear your powder blue to root on the Golden Flashes. We'll be giving away tank tops, boneless wings, and welcoming in our Greek communities for Greek night. On Saturday, our women's basketball team back in action at home. It's the Sun Belt Challenge as the Old Dominion Monarchs come into town for Unity Day and a 1 p.m. tip. And on Sunday, our gymnastics team is home to Northern Illinois, and we're dreaming of warmer weather with a beach giveaway. And we talked to Coach O'Donnell here this week. Our softball team starts the 2024 campaign at the Elon Invitational. Best of luck to the Golden Flashes. Welcome back inside the GFTV studios. It's Flash Talk. We're brought to you by Brian Heating and Cooling, Dan Griffin. Talking some hoops with head women's ball coach Todd Starkey. And Coach, first and foremost, a busy week, a couple of home games on the docket. Great chance for you guys to play in front of the home crowd.
Yeah, I mean, we played back-to-back road games in tough environments at Bowling Green and Ball State, and went 1-1 in that group this past week, week before last, I guess it is, and you know, so it's nice to get back to the friendly confines of the MAC Center and face two tough opponents here.
Well, let's talk briefly about the last Wednesday's game against Ball State. Like you had mentioned, a litmus test to try to see where you guys were facing right now one of the league leaders in the MAC in their place. And, I mean, aside from a tough shooting night, great defensive effort. You held one of the highest scoring teams as a mid-major to well below their season average and gave yourselves a puncher's chance.
Yeah, absolutely. I was really proud of our team. We hate to lose, obviously, and never want to get used to that. But I thought that game is one that could have gotten away from us against a very tough Ball State team, and our team really decided to stand and fight, dig our heels in, and really continue to play against a good team. We just couldn't make shots. It was kind of a out of nowhere type of thing. We've been one of the top scoring teams in the league, around 75 points a game, and shooting, about 76% from the free throw line, and we couldn't make free throws, couldn't make threes, and Ball State had something to do with the field goal percentage. The free throw percentage is something you don't get to guard those. So we just didn't make those shots, and but learned a lot about our team. And once again, Ball State, credit to them. I mean, they're one of, I think, 7 or 8 teams in the country that are undefeated in conference play. So they've definitely separated themselves a little bit, and we learned a lot about our team though moving forward.
Like we said, you get some home cooking here this week. Let's start with a National Girls in Sports Day, and Western Michigan comes into town. What can we expect out of the Broncos as you guys try to get another one on the left side of the column?
Yeah, real solid team in MAC play. They've got the second leading scorer in the conference in Caitlin Zaricki, who's averaging about 22 points a game in conference play. It's a team that's very dangerous. They play a lot of zone. They have the ability to shoot the ball. And we're going to need a really good effort here at home against them.
Well, then we take a brief reprieve from MAC play as the MAC Sun Belt Challenge does its mirror scheduling, and one of the more historic programs within women's basketball, and Old Dominion gets to come to town on the return game. You guys beat Louisiana to start the season, and now you get the shot at the Lady Monarchs.
Yeah, really tough team coming in. Like you said, tons of history there, a former national championship program, and we get the opportunity against a really tough, athletic, physical team that's coming here. So it'll be a really a really good test for us right in the middle of MAC play. Another one of those litmus test games as we're coming down the stretch, and we're going to need to really take care of the basketball, keep them off the offensive glass, and have them, have to adjust to us rather than the other way.
Yeah, like you said, if they're trying to play a little bit of bully ball, then obviously there's some ways to get around that, but it's also going to result a lot on you're going to be leaning on those post players pretty significantly, at least defensively.
Yeah, I think our balance can counteract some of that, and our guard play has been very, very good. And they have to play us too, right?
Sure, of course.
Defending Katie Shoemate and Jenna Batch right now is a tough task, the way those two are playing. So feel excited about this week's games and just ready to get back on the court and play.
Yeah, a lot of cool promotions going on. We've got Unity Day when Old Dominion comes to town, but we mentioned a little bit about Play for K and Women in Sports Day. I know that is obviously as a women's basketball coach, that's something that's near and dear to your heart. So we've got a lot of cool promotions going on there, but it's a way for you guys to kind of give back and showcase to some of the up-and-coming players here in the MAC Center.
Yeah, it's nice to have different crowds. Sometimes you have different crowds for some of these games and obviously our Play for K game getting moved forward to this game on Wednesday, and in recognition and a fight against women's cancers, and we always want to be in big support of that.
Well, we got a couple of big chances here. Tickets available at ksutix.com. Let's defend the home turf, Coach.
Sounds good. Go Flashes.
That's going to do it for this edition of Flash Talk. As always, brought to you by Brian Hing and Cooling. Join us next week for another deep dive in the wonderful world of Kent State athletics. For all of us here inside the GFTV studios, this is Dan Griffin saying good night and go Flashes.